Monday night, spirits are high because we've had a couple of drinks, but we're here to sort out this death wobble issue. We've changed the tyres. That's made a big improvement. Next, we're going to do a wheel alignment because just by eye, Steve saw it at the car park the other day. He's on the tools down there. Well, I just got to keep feeding him bourbons, but because it's, I don't know, it's 8 o'clock at night or something. Next step is go back a step. Step 1, go back to stock tyres. We're on 33s and stock rims. Step 2, do a wheel alignment. And that is 1, to see if that's affecting the death wobbles. 2, we're hitting the dyno on Wednesday, and I don't want, it looks like it's towing in at the back on one wheel. I don't want it crabbing on the dyno. That's going to cost me killer wasps. So I'm going to get that sorted out. If we can't kill the death wobbles after that, really, it's, HPMC pressure check, which we've got the gear to do it, so we can. It's just down there. That's the plan. All right, another nice build going on here. Anyway, let's dial her up, see what happens. It's like some master chef, like in the kitchen, fussing around with the car, doing this, doing that, dialing things up and down. We've got just basically tripping over watering cans. Probably can't see the numbers up there, but it's showing a lot of camber going on because it's got the headlights on. Sorry about that. But this makes sense. Like, my car's only done 14,000 Ks. However, it's done 14,000 very hard Ks. Towing, full driving, thrashing, all that sort of stuff. So I think this part of the problem here is just coil sag, because I've put a light duty coil in it because I wanted to get the tuck. Maybe it was too light when you consider the ball weights and the things that I'm doing. So anyway, we can look at the wheel alignment now, and I'd love to show you the numbers that we're going to put up here, but old masterclass here. It's like the 11 secret herbs and spices. He's not going to tell us what he's going to do, but it's going to come out straight. That's the main thing. All right, Steve-O. What should the customers do before they bring their cars in for a wheel alignment? Is there anything we have to worry about?
Yeah, a lot of people are a bit lazy when they do the wheel alignment, so they don't check tyre pressures. So it's a good thing is to do the tyre pressure check, which you can do it on the monitor.
Fuel?
Pretty much, yeah, fuel, good one. So always good to have half or more. If you come in with an empty tank and then you get a wheel alignment, then you go back out and fill her up, it will be out.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to also load up the car, put some weight in it, because at the end of the day when you go away, that's when the tyre wear happens. So it's a good idea to have a little bit of weight in the back of the car that you'd normally carry when you go away. Obviously bedding and bits and pieces like that aren't going to make too much difference, but if you've got recovery gear, fridges, chuck them in, then you're going to get it right.
So like when I go away though, I put a full carton of beer in, but when I come home I've got an empty carton of beer. So how much beer shall I put in my car to go away?
Stay with half a carton then.
It's totally bourbon o'clock. Good news, like the wheel alignment has basically eliminated all of the death wobble now. So I think part of this is, I reckon 70% of it is tyres and the other 30% is wheel alignment, because now it's gone, eliminated. The test now will be if I can put my 35s back on the 20-inch rims and it still be gone, because that means it's all wheel alignment. Although I suspect the tyres are old and need replacing. So I reckon I'm up for a new set of tyres on the 20s, properly wheel aligned, and we're good to go again. Because it was horrible before. Now, just then, that little test run that I did, albeit dark and everything, it went like perfect, silky. Before, when you change from first to second, it would oscillate. The back end would kick out and you'd feel it. And it would kick out one way with it like that. Almost, it feels like torque steer. And then it would come back and oscillate and it would just wobble around. This one, when I accelerate first, change to second, it throws you forward as it should. Even on a bit of an S, like a sweeping turn that I did it on, it throws you forward. Before, it would totally wobble, and I thought it was the weight of the roof rack or something, it didn't do that at all. So I think these things are just really sensitive to a good wheel alignment. So if you're going to own one of these cars, get it wheel aligned by someone that knows what they're doing with these cars. I say this all the time. If someone has to go and look in a book to see what parts fit this, you're at the wrong place. Go to someone that knows the car, and one, you're giving them another car to learn off of, but on the other hand, like, these are the experienced guys. All right, onwards and upwards. All right, now I think we've mastered the wheel wobble. It's time to put some more killer wasps through them. Had the car here at PowerTech today. They've done their magic. Actually, asked them to do a little bit more magic. You must know that I'm doing this series about trying to get a Patrol Y62 to do a burnout. I said, can you go in and have a look at like the tables and turn off anything that says torque settings? Like, I want all that stuff off where it's going to limit any amount of torque. So hopefully now when I pull the ABS and full drive fuse, bit of left foot brake, smoky, and off we go. And I'm also thinking that this might help reverse. It's probably not going to help my gearbox, because Nissan, I don't know if you know this, there's a torque limiter in reverse in these cars, which is a safety feature, but we've got rid of all the other, the locker override switch and everything else where it's trying to protect itself. So we'll do this inside the tune too, and that means when I'm in reverse, hopefully I'll be able to have full throttle, whereas in your standard factory setting, you've only got 50% throttle or torque when you're in reverse. Because this caught me out at Beachport once. You go down into this basin, if you can't get up the other side, you have to reverse out, but you've only got half the throttle or torque to get out, and you get stuck. So yeah, hopefully that's one more problem solved in this car. All right, now for the drive. If I can work out how to get out of here. So of course you dyno your car because you want a bit more power, but there's some other reasons too. Like, these things run so rich and over fuel, especially in the mid-range. So lean them out and you get better fuel economy too. So I think I said this in the video the other week, but you might as well do it. Oh, hello. Yeah, in the seat, you notice it straight away. All Patrols, it doesn't really matter that much which tune you put them in, but all Patrols really respond well to a tune. You get better fuel economy straight off the bat, and you get more power. Why not do it? All right, back to DNA to muck around with some other stuff. First set of lights I pull up at, it's just one car out. Well, I should probably behave anyway. What did we get on the dyno sheet? So we got, I don't understand how dyno sheets read torque. Like, it started at 769 Newton meters and finished at 823 Newton meters. Like, they're only supposed to have 560 at the flywheel. I don't know, someone smarter than me can explain that. Power wise, I'm running 33-inch all-terrains, and I got started at 190 and it went up to 211. So another 20, actually with the decimals in there, 21 kilowatts. The torque comes on, you can feel it straight away. The torque comes on earlier, and I think that's that drivability that we're all going for, but more power. Did that wobble a little bit then? So while I'm driving, let's talk a bit more about the wobble. Changing tyres made a massive difference straight away. I reckon 70% of all the wobble that was happening, I'm told death wobble isn't the appropriate term to use for this, because GUs did it way worse than what the Y62s do. So I like, someone said rear axle rock, that's not a bad one, but throughout the week everyone has been messaging me with the problems that they've had. Some people saying it's tyres, because say you're running 35s and you've done a lot of stuff at low pressure, so that means the wall is bulged, and maybe running too high speeds, that sort of thing. Well, I just did do Fraser Island and Land Cruiser Mountain Park, I did significant amount of beach work on low pressures, so that would make sense. And I must admit, there's a few times I just can't be bothered. We're driving 20 k's on bitumen. I've just left them at, you know, sand pressure, sat on probably 60, 80 k's an hour, and just left it at that. So maybe the integrity of my sidewall of my Nittos is, and they were second hand to start with, so that's quite likely the majority of my problem there. The second part of it, the coils are in this car are a bit of a prototype-y coil. They're not the normal old man emu that we put on all our other lifts, and this particular one sags significantly. It started out as a 2-inch lift, ended up as a 1-inch lift, which was conveniently matching my front arms that I did, but we never went back and did a proper adjustment on the rear afterwards, so my tyres camber was like that. Been good for the racetrack, but I did notice it, especially on your slight bend, getting that wobble. So most of it's gone. In fact, we're coming up to a spot up here in a little bit where I know it's affected every single time I've done it. Otherwise, it's been a bit subjective on different roads, you know, if I've cured it with tyres and wheel alignment alone. One person messaged me, they had a Series 1 with problems, and they ended up taking it back to Nissan, and turns out there was a lot of air in their HPMC system. So I don't know how that could get in. Maybe someone fiddled with it, maybe it just something happens over time, but this is a new car, it shouldn't be happening. So if I'm it's 90% cured with wheel alignment and the other tyres. We're going to do the last little test up here, and that will tell me if it's 100% cured or whether we need to keep researching. If it is, then the next thing is to check the HPMC pressure, and then lastly, and this is thanks to Zach at East Coast Customs, he's developed some extra valving that can be done for the rear, and for the four-wheel drive enthusiast, that could be quite a special thing. That's developing over time, so we'll see how we go. All right, I'll stop now, and then I'll record again when we get to this spot. It's a sweeping bend on Old Port Wayford Road. All right, we're coming up to this little corner I was telling you about, where I turn onto Old Port Wayfield Road. Out of interest, before I reset my fuel figures on the dash, I know that's a $5 fine for talking about fuel economy on a Y62 social media, but it's down to 12.0. Right, here we go. Watch for any wobble. Straight, no. That's where it did it here. Ever so slight. Like, that's acceptable, the amount that it did it then, but it was ever so slight. I think this does still warrant putting it onto that HPMC machine just to check it, but we pretty much nailed it. Now my fuel economy is 14.2. Anyway, all right, what else is happening? Dash news. I got a ceiling, and I am never ever changing career to be a jip rocker. It's like just putting a roof up on your own was quite difficult. Other things happening. That camper trailer that I showed you last weekend, I love that thing. That was so good. To the point, I've ordered one. So, two parts to that. I receive a lot of emails, messages, DMs every day on Y62 stuff. This week, I was eclipsed by camper trailer stuff. And it sounds like there's some history that I don't know about with that camper trailer and brands and so forth. But I'm going to say it once, and then I'm putting it to bed. I liked that particular, well, buying anything in life, to be honest, and I've said this before, it's about three things: product, price, and buying experience. I really liked that product. The price was good, and the buying experience was fantastic through Pod Camper Hire in South Australia. They do the Trailmaster. It's a really good product, and when I looked at the differences on what's on the market, that is the one for me. And I swear, every person on the other camper, the other brand, really went to town this week on me for, even mentioning that brand. But for those three reasons, I would buy it. and I'd buy it over and over and over again because it's a bloody awesome product, and the support from Pod Camper Hire in SA was brilliant. We've had a lot of fun conversations this week, and it's I'm getting something at the price point that I want, and I'm going to be able to modify it in the future. So there's going to be a lot of content about me building this camper coming up, and I'm going to be able to get away. And I don't care about the history and all the other BS that's behind it with rivalry of brands and everything. I don't care. I'm just going to buy this thing, enjoy it, and have a blast. On that note, I'm going to call this video. That's this week out. We are heading away again this weekend with a bunch of 62s. I'm not sure if the camera's coming out or not. I haven't got around to doing the talker and exhaust review, but that is coming, I promise. And lots more coming up. So, like we do every week. Thanks for watching. See you on YouTube. Yeah.